I am here with Valerie Jarrett. You are a top advisor to the Obama campaign. Now, I think where I'd love to start with you is for you to explain what that means. I hear advisor and I think policy, everything, picking the VP, everything, or are you also helping with Michelle as well, and when she speaks and all of it?
Everything that you've described. What Senator Obama likes to do is to surround himself by a wide range of people who are diverse in their opinion, diverse in terms of their perspectives, and pick their brains. And so that's what I'm there to do. And it's a wide range of issues: policy, strategy. I have a close relationship with Michelle and her team, and so I help bridge between the two staffs. And it's just a wonderful perspective that I have, that I am able to learn from the American people, travel with both Senator Obama and Michelle, and I've been so inspired by this campaign. So I've learned as much as I have had to offer.
So you get to see the entire picture then.
Yes, exactly.
You're almost overseeing the entire picture.
Well, he has a group of us who are there, and we meet with him on a regular basis. We talk to each other all the time, and he uses us as a sounding board. He always wants to make sure that he's thought through ideas as thoroughly and as completely as he can. He's a very good listener, and he's also a good decision maker, and so that's what he uses his advisors for.
Fantastic. I think the next question on our list, and these are, mind you, from the BlogHer community. Yes. We kind of came up with these together as we do everything.
Great.
How do we get this candidate elected?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. And I'm glad you asked that question primarily to a audience of women, because I believe that women are going to make the difference in this election. As we've seen in the last few elections, we're taking a larger and larger percentage of the vote are women coming out to vote. And I also think we're better organizers. We're able to get out there, we have a network, we roll up our sleeves and work hard. And what we have been just so inspired by in the course of this campaign is how women from all over the country, all perspectives, all races, all economic incomes have come together and really worked hard for this candidate, and now the hard part really begins. We've got to bring it home. It's not good enough to just win the primary. We've got to get all the way to the general election, and so we're counting on women to really help us close this out.
And because you're counting on women, what is the message they should be hearing the most from your candidate? What should Senator Obama be focusing on for them to hear so that they take it away and go ahead and vote for him in November?
Well, you know what I always start with? I start with how he was raised. He was raised by a single mom who had him when she was 18. Father left him when he was 2. Was on food stamps for a portion of her life. Somebody who understood how hard it is for working women, and he watched his mother and the struggles that she had, how she struggled with health care as she developed cancer and couldn't figure out how to make sure to pay for insurance. So Barack has this deep set of empathy because he grew up with a really strong mom, and he watched her struggle, and he watched how she conquered so many challenges that came along the way. So let's start with his upbringing, and then let's look at his record. This is a person who believes in equity and fairness, and he has fought hard for women to have equal pay. He's fought hard to make sure that we're providing the kind of care to our children and working women that they need. Daycare is so important. Women's right to choose, something that we're terribly concerned about the Supreme Court and how the next president will have an opportunity to form that court. And Senator Obama has made it clear that he is pro-choice, and Senator McCain has made it clear that he's not. And so and on all the issues, whether it's equity in pay, whether it's freedom of choice, whether it's fighting hard for working women, Senator Obama's record is absolutely outstanding, and Senator McCain's record is not. And then last night we saw Michelle Obama. You learn a lot about a man, I think, by the kind of person he chooses as his life mate. Michelle is a strong woman. She has worked hard. She stands on her own 2 feet. And I think you learn something by a man who's not intimidated by that. In fact, he embraces that strength and that courage in her. She's his best friend. He relies on her a lot for advice and for input. And so I think that people can be comfortable, having been introduced to the Obama family last night, that this is a man that doesn't just talk the talk, but he walks the walk.
Bringing it back to what you talked about with equal pay and equity, one of our bloggers, her name is Shannon, and the name of her blog is Rocks in My Dryer, brought up some of those equal pay for women taxes. She says women represent the majority of voters, and in many industries, the workforce. Will the candidate help women earn a better wage, and how?
Absolutely. It's outrageous that women still are not being paid dollar for dollar what men are being paid. How could we be in the 21st century and have that be the case? It's outrageous. And so Senator Obama is absolutely committed to making sure equal pay for equal work. And he has been instrumental in both the state Senate in Illinois as well as a U.S. Senator, fighting for these issues, and he will continue to do that as President of the United States. It's outrageous in this day and time to even be having that conversation.
On a personal note, and putting aside your friendship and your working relationship with the senator, how will it feel when he accepts the nomination as a woman of color?
Trying to make me cry.
Maybe.
Well, I'm so deeply proud. You know, my father is 85 years old. My mother turns 80 this year, and as I left them before coming here, they both said, you know, it's amazing that we actually live to see this day. And there's so much pride, but part of our pride is that, yes, he's an African-American man, but what he's done that we haven't seen in this country is his ability to bring all people together, to unify our country, and to be able to say, yes, I come from the African-American community, but my story is an American story. You know, I have lived the American dream, and what he does resonates with everybody. So of course I have particular pride because he's African American, but what he's done for the country is bring us together and make us one America, one nation, and that's what I'm really most proud of.
Thank you very much, Valerie Jarrett from the Obama campaign. Thank you.
You really did? Almost make me cry.